aviation sector, where SpiceJet is now told to clear up its dues to Credit Suisse. Now, Supreme Court, Kartik, has directed SpiceJet that you must pay up your dues to Credit Suisse, which is to the tune of about $1.5 million.
$1.25 million.
Approximately $1.25 million. And that payment must be made ASAP. Also taking note of the fact that SpiceJet's CMD, Ajay Singh, has now shown interest in buying Go First.
Absolutely. So I think the Supreme Court's message is very clear that on one hand, if you're thinking about acquiring an airline which has assets worth 10,000 crore rupees and converting that into millions just for ease of simplicity for comparing what it owes to Credit Suisse, comes down to about $1.2 billion. So the valuation, it seems, the assets of Go First are valued at about $1.2 billion. And $1.2 billion is something that SpiceJet CMD Ajay Singh, in partnership with Busy Bee Ventures, which is a holding company of Nishant Pitti, who runs Ease My Trip, who's been in the news for very interesting reasons of late, Maldives being one of them. Suggests the fact that that there is a $1.2 billion deal in which 5% of that, which is approximately about 500 crore rupees INR worth, is something that Nishant Pitti is looking at raising and investing. So Supreme Court is telling SpiceJet that if you're looking at buying an airline in partnership with somebody worth $1.2 billion, then what happens to the $15 million, which is just a fraction of what you're willing to pay to acquire Go First? You haven't yet paid it in full to Credit Suisse. So the Credit Suisse $15 million, out of which about $13.75 million has been paid by SpiceJet starting September, which is when Supreme Court had asked SpiceJet to start clearing arrears at $500,000 per month, and fresh installments of $500,000, so about $1 million a month had to be paid to a point when the arrears of $3 million are repaid completely. Then the installment comes down to about $500,000. So that is where SpiceJet is. SpiceJet continues to owe Credit Suisse about $1.25 million, which is nothing as compared to the $1.2 billion valuation that it seems SpiceJet and Busy Bee Ventures are together willing to go in for the Go First deal.
Very interesting observation from Supreme Court. As I was reading, Supreme Court said this is how economy works, because on one hand you also have petitioners saying, look, Ajay Singh is showing interest in buying a brand new airline, at the same time also cutting cost in his home turf, which is SpiceJet, letting go of as many as 1,400 employees. Either they have the money or they don't have the money.
So, as I read it, Shweta, I think, it was pretty clear in the initial reporting that was done on SpiceJet with Busy Bee Ventures making a bid for Go First. In fact, not even making a bid yet, just a formal expression of interest that, we are looking at purchasing Go First. Right. So broadly, what it suggests is that you will eventually realize that what was reported then was that Nishant Pitti, Busy Bee Ventures, was going to bring in the capital, whereas Ajay Singh, not SpiceJet, Ajay Singh was to bring the management expertise. So whether this money is actually going to come from the coffers of SpiceJet, or is there going to be a fresh fundraise that Ajay Singh and Nishant Pitti will do together, or will Nishant Pitti bring in most of the capital, or Busy Bee Ventures bring in most of the capital, and Ajay Singh will continue to have an operational stake in both the airlines, is something which I think is in the details of the bid, right? But we know it has moved beyond the expression of interest stage, and a bidding is likely to happen. How much is that bid going to come in at? And in addition to that, you also have Safric, Safric, the Sharjah-based, investment arm, etc. So you have some of these players already in the fray. So we don't know where it's going to go. But I think, Supreme Court's observation is just that if you are looking at investing such a big amount of money, then first pay up your dues. But at the other end, I think the money may not directly come from SpiceJet.
Absolutely. But this is also how economy works. I think that was also a statement that came out of Supreme Court. So you will close down on operations, or you let go of people when they are not serving their purpose, at the same time looking at acquisition that perhaps will make business sense in the long run, which is what SpiceJet seem to be doing at this point. But remember, the court has now ordered SpiceJet to settle that $1.5 million debt owed to Credit Suisse by 15th of September. There is no scope of belated payment, the court has observed. The Apex Court in September allowed SpiceJet to clear arrears of Swiss financial services firm over a dispute settlement within the next 6 months. It's been 6 months since then. The airline was supposed to pay Credit Suisse $500,000 a month towards the arrears, in addition to the scheduled monthly payment of $500,000 that SpiceJet was already making. All of that money will now need to be paid up by September.